opened my eyes up a bit more to bodybuilding, and then seeing them going through that whole process kind of again motivated me. I was thinking, oh, it's like crazy seeing their body changing, and like you seeing how they look on show day, and yeah, it's amazing to see. Amazing. Having someone to train with makes a massive difference in terms of your motivation, your ability just to be able to push yourself for those 1, 2, 3 extra reps. But yeah, that was kind of like where I'd say it started from, working with them on a day-to-day basis, and then obviously they kind of pushed me, not really pushed me, just obviously kind of opened my eyes up a bit more to bodybuilding. Every bodybuilder, everyone who's done a show will say the same thing. Your life's not the same. When you're going through these preps, it takes a toll on your body, on your mind. You see like show day coming up, and you kind of motivate yourself thinking, I need to train because I need to be better than everyone else that's going to be competing. So it's, again, it's like little like mental battles that I have with myself.
You alright, Kane? How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Thank you for being on the Chinwag podcast today.
Pleasure to be here.
Just tell the viewers a little bit about yourself and what you do.
So at the minute I'm working in a school as a teaching assistant and as a PE teacher. That's kind of like the main job that I do. Previously, before that, personal training. I've been in fitness instructor, gym manager, kind of whole variety, to be fair.
Lovely. So just from a young age, how did you get into sport? Who got you into sport and all that? Who just got you into sport at a young age?
I think it's just getting one of those ones where you just play with like friends like from a young age, going to the park. At school, always been sporty, kind of been involved in like teams, things like that. And then just kind of enjoyed it from a young age. And then from there, kind of thought, this is what I kind of want to do. And then you kind of just then got off into one thing. So for me, it's always like kind of like football as well. I kind of always wanted to play and kind of what I wanted to do.
Apart from football, were there any other sports you excelled at as a kid and you thought like, oh, I'm really enjoying this, I could take this a bit further? Or was it always just football?
Probably not until I was older, I'd say. When I was younger, it literally was just football. Every single day, football, going to the park, whatever it was, playing outside. It was probably, I'd say, only until I was maybe 17, 18, I probably started going, like, taking more sports seriously. So tennis, basketball, I'd probably say those are my 2 other sports that I actually really enjoy playing, apart from football. Probably say, if I'd say one, tennis more than any, definitely, yeah.
So do you still play any of those sports, like football, basketball, tennis, any of those still? Or?
Not for like a team or anything like that. It would just be occasionally if you're kind of meeting up with friends, might be going, say to goals, stuff like that, might be playing them. But apart from that, no, I wouldn't really say I'm kind of really pushing them.
So I've seen your Instagram and I know that you're a bodybuilder. So how? Just talk me through.
Amateur.
Well, we'll just say bodybuilder for this. So how did you get into that? Because that is quite a niche kind of thing to get into. So how did you get into that kind of sport?
I've always, again, since I've probably been about 18, I started in the gym, and it's one of those ones where you're in the gym, you're kind of just, you're just going with the flow. I didn't have a real routine. I didn't really know what I was doing, just kind of going in, doing what I wanted to do. And it was only until I started working in the gym as like a fitness instructor, I then started to understand, obviously, the kind of more the benefits of it, how to structure plans, how to obviously understand the diet more. You're in that environment, so you're talking to the other members of staff and friends.
So you went from going to the gym as just going to the gym, and then you became a fitness instructor at the gym.
Initially, so it was just a case of I worked as a. So my story was I worked as a lifeguard for about 2 years, 3 years. Then I wanted, obviously, working in a leisure centre. Obviously, you see, like, you go into the gym. I was thinking, this is the environment I want to be in. So, kind of took steps towards getting my like my level 1, level 2. So from there, yeah, that was kind of like later down the line.
Okay.
You're probably talking maybe 5 years, but just a case of being in that environment.
Okay.
In terms of getting into bodybuilding, that was probably, say, 4 years ago, I'd say now, where I kind of like first started it. And And I kind of just like, again, like obviously I was training for like a long while before that, but I kind of like fell off. I need like a little bit of structure. So a lot of my friends, they got into it before me. I think they'd done maybe like one show prior to that, I think a year before that, and they've been saying for ages like, oh, you should get into it, you should get into it, and always just like, I like kept putting it off. And then again, I needed that kind of like just little push and something to kind of like motivate me.
So those friends, are they bodybuilders as well?
Yeah, so they've actually got shows coming up.
And do you want to shout any of them out? You can shout them out if you want.
Yeah, so you've got Neil O'Shaughnessy, Ruth Martindale, and I think those are the two who are competing at. I think they got the finals, PSA finals. I think that's next week.
So from them encouraging you to get into bodybuilding, so like the first day of you training, did they help you?
Yeah, massively. It's kind of just a case of like, again, when we obviously worked in the gym together, so it'd be like if we would talk and say, okay, we'll come in tomorrow and we'll train this or we'll train this. So we always used to train together, and I think again, having someone to train with makes a massive difference in terms of your motivation, your ability just to be able to push yourself for those 1, 2, 3 extra reps. But yeah, that was kind of like where I'd say it started from, working with them on a day-to-day basis, and then obviously they kind of pushed me, not really pushed me, just obviously kind of opened my eyes up a bit more to bodybuilding, and then seeing them going through that whole process kind of again motivated me. I was thinking, oh, it's like crazy seeing their body changing, and like you seeing how they look on show day, and yeah, it's amazing to see, amazing.
So would you say you enjoy coaching? Because you said you were a PE teacher. Would you say you enjoy coaching more or your bodybuilding?
It's hard. I mean, there's so many pros and cons to it.
They talk me through what the pros and cons are going through your head.
So pros, obviously, the money you get from it. Obviously, you could say the publicity, the doors it opens, just the ability to be able to go to different countries, compete in these amazing competitions with different athletes. But then the cons, I mean, every bodybuilder, everyone who's done a show will say the same thing. Your life's not the same. When you're going through these preps, it takes a toll on your body, on your mind. You're not able to go out. Example, we had a show coming up, I think in June. It's maybe a couple of years ago now, and it was my mum's birthday coming up, and obviously I'm on prep, so I can't actually, I think it was going to Pizza Express, can't have the food that I want to have. Yeah. So I think I had to speak to my coach, and he was just saying to me, obviously, because it's my mum's birthday, I think he was quite lenient, but at the same time, he didn't really want me to kind of go off plan. So I had to really structure exactly what it was that I was going to have there, and it was getting down to bare minimals.
So you say you have a coach. Does he do your diet plan, or have you got a nutritionist for that?
So it all falls on the same thing. So the coach that I would pay for my prep, off-season, on-season, would be the one who does, training plan, diet plan, and then, again, anything in between that. So if I need to go to him, say, okay, I'm not feeling great today, he might look at things like, okay, we can adjust this, or it's just kind of like that little go-to at times. But I was quite all right in terms of it gives me the plans, I just follow it to a T.
We'll touch on bodybuilding a bit later on as well. But so bodybuilding, as I said earlier, is like a niche kind of thing to do. So what do your family and friends think of you doing bodybuilding? Do they like it? Do they not like it?
I mean, they're all kind of like amazed by when they see like the transformation from, say, day one of prep to like come show day. But if you're talking like my mum, she's always looking at me thinking, oh, like you're eating this or you're not having that, and she's just kind of like, she's supportive, but she's just taken back.
A bit sceptical.
Yeah, a little bit.
Is that difficult when you're like a competition and she's like, does she go to your shows?
Yeah, she's been to two of my shows. She's been to, yeah. So again, she's supportive. It's just obviously for her, it's a different sort of world where I'm measuring out all my food literally to the gram, and she's just looking at me like, what are you doing?
I hear you. So do you have any competitions lined up coming up soon?
None lined up. I keep saying it, but I do want to compete in like the next year, 2 years, definitely. I said it's probably been about maybe 2 years since I last competed. And I do, you go through moments where you miss it. Obviously, you see on like Instagram people posting stuff, and like when shows are coming up like now, you're seeing like you had the Arnolds were like yesterday in the UK. You're seeing like the pro like athletes competing there. You've got like your more amateur shows coming up as well. You're seeing them like every single week. So for me, it's at times I'm like, I'm enjoying the food, I'm enjoying being able to just relax and have what I want. But at times you miss that structure, and it's going to sound crazy, just that toughness in terms of where you're on minimal food, you're training, but you see the results, you're thinking, this is what yeah, it is. You have to be. You can't, I'd always say to anyone who's ever going to do it, you can't go in half-hearted. It literally has to be 100% or nothing at all. I've said that to my coach before I was going to do a competition, and my head was in the right place. I said to him, I was like, I can't compete for this reason, and that was it. It's because I could have done it, but I would have been given maybe 70%, and in this sport, you can't bet that. You have to give everything to it.
So in competitions, because I don't know as well. So what does that involve during the competition? Like, tell me the day of you getting to the venue of the competition to like you leaving. So what does that involve the day?
Depends again where you are. So every show that I've done has been up north, in like Birmingham. I think they've all been Birmingham actually. Yeah. So they've all been based up north. So I'll travel down. So this is before, like you got to prepare all your food. So.
Do you travel up like the week before? Or
Nah, not week before. No, it'll be the day before.
Okay.
So day before, you got to sort out all like your food. So again, you're thinking a day ahead. You're thinking, what have I got to have for show day? So for me, it'd be like shorts, food, any kind of supplements that I'm taking as well. Obviously clothes. I'm taking spare bed sheets because there's a spray tan. They goes everywhere. So you're having to plan all that in advance. So I'll travel up the night before. Then you'll get there. So normally I kind of time it. So I'll do you got to have like a spray tan the night before, and then I'll have that done, and that's usually again evening time. So it could be any time between like 6
how long
and
does the spray tan take?
not long. It literally takes maybe 3 minutes to do.
Okay.
That's literally spray tan, can kind of wait in, and then it dries, and then you're kind of like good to go.
Okay.
So I have that done, then I've got to go back to the hotel, and then from there it's kind of just like chilling out. So you'll have like, again, like you don't want to like stress yourself too much and overthink about like the next day. So might have like one or two of my last meals, like a sip of water. Again, depends what my coach is telling me. It all can vary. Each show day is different. But then from there, it's just a case of chilling out, switching off, and then preparing myself for the next day. And then next day comes along. It's normally again an early start, so normally I'm up by about 6:30 because I've got to again get more meals in before. Then they've got to have, obviously you've got to go get your top up turn done. So again, times vary and depends on what category you're in. So it could be you're going at 9.
So what categories are there?
10. So again, you've got.
Is it weight or no?
Depends who you compete with. So the shows that I've done with PCA have always been based around just your categories. So say for instance like men's physique, and then you'd have short, medium, tall category. So always then you're thrown into whichever one. And then it goes from there. Some shows are different. Some shows do it based off of weight. I think if you're going like.
Have you done any shows that are based off weight before?
I haven't. No, mine have all been literally based off of height. Okay. That's it. Yeah. So from there, you'll have your top up tan done. Then you'll register, and then it's a case of kind of just they'll do like a briefing before then with all the athletes, kind of going through what the day is going to be like, what category is going to be on first, second, third, so on. And it's the same again. From there, it's just kind of like chilling. You're kind of just sitting in the audience. You're watching all these other shows. And then it's from there, like the nerves sort of like start to set in a little bit. I think like with me, it's like when I'm on stage, I'm fine. It's when I'm watching other categories going up. Then
so you're just thinking about what you're doing whilst you're looking at other people.
You've got to try and stay as calm as you can, like I said, because you can just overthink. And if you see other athletes, and it's when you go to like the spray tan, especially like in the morning, because you're getting all like certain categories. You'll be getting like say a lot of the men's physique guys coming in, so you're kind of like looking at each other thinking, oh, like he's got bigger arms than me, or he's got a wider back, or whatever it is. And as I said, self-doubt can start in. At that point there, you've done all the hard work. You just got to sit back, just enjoy it really, just sit it out.
So Your last competition you said was 2 years ago. How did you fare in that? What was that? What was your experience like
It
in
was
that?
actually really good. So to be fair, I can't complain about my kind of road so far in bodybuilding in men's physique. My first show I'd done, I think there was maybe about 9 or 10 people. I got first call out, which is quite a good thing. Obviously, you got like, depends on the size of the category. You can get
So you'd
first.
rather be like earlier on than later
Yeah,
on?
if you get first call out, it kind of means that the judges are kind of seeding you as like the top ranking almost. So you're in a chance then if you get first
Okay.
call out of winning. It can obviously change. They could literally look at you at the next round, kind of round of posing and say, okay, we've missed that on him. We'll bring it back into first call out. But normally, yeah, first call out is quite a good thing. So with that, yeah, I think it was about 9 or 10 people. I think it was like fourth or fifth, something like that. It was kind of like middle. And I was thinking for my first show,
Yeah, for your first show, that's
you
good.
take it. Again, I had like,
It's all about the experience.
yeah, it was, yeah, 100%. The experience of it, I had like, again, a lot of nerves going to my first show. Posing again is so key. My posing wasn't really as good as it could have been.
So obviously you have to train like in the gym, but obviously do you have to train your poses as well? Like,
Yeah.
so I don't know what different like poses are. So talk me through like what you have to do. So does your coach help you with that as well?
Not my coach. He can. Obviously, he'll have a kind of like a base experience, but generally you'll go to like, he advised me to go to like posing coaches. So
Okay.
I went to, it was Ryan John Baptiste, again, competed yesterday at the Arnold's, finished second. So knows his stuff. And it's crazy. It's like, you see, again, this is before I even stepped onto the stage. You see obviously videos and pictures of people posing, you're thinking they make it look so effortless, flawless. But when you're actually doing it yourself,
Yeah.
it's so hard. And because you've got to almost hold that pose for, you could say at times, up to a minute longer. When I was on stage,
minute? Oh,
yeah,
wow.
I was at the British finals. It's the last show I'd done, and they must have had about 40 people on stage. It was packed.
Wow.
That's so many. So obviously, you've got to go through your whole like routines and all that. And normally, so when I competed on my first show, there was like 10 of us. We were probably on stage for maybe 15 minutes, I'd say, around there. And obviously 40 people, it was just, I think it was up,
quite a long time.
I think we was up there for about 50 minutes, I think,
Wow.
altogether. Obviously, at one point, because it was just intense, they took us off backstage, and I was like, okay, come back on again. But you're trying to hold this pose for...
So in the competition, are you all on stage at this like together?
Yeah, so they kind of, so they'll do it, so you come out, so they'll bring all the athletes out, they'll line you up, you kind of hit your front poses, and then from there, they'll then kind of, again, put you into first call out, second call out, and then say, for instance, first call out would then stay on stage, second call out will go to the side, first call out then does their poses, so they'll say, okay, front pose, and then they might say quarter turn to the right, quarter turn to the right, and that's with men's physique, that's kind of like how it works.
Okay.
With us, again, it's just kind of like quarter turns, and then from there, they'll then take you again, they'll do the second call outs, and then they'll bring you back on individual routines. So it's quite a lengthy routine, even with a small amount of people. So obviously with 40 plus people.
Yeah, I can imagine like the stress you must be like under.
Yeah, well, you're trying to hold a pose, and obviously a lot of it is going to come down to like abs. So you're squeezing, you're trying to hit the ab shot, and it's just, you end up having to breathe, and obviously then you're kind of like, you're struggling, and it's really, and judges will mark you down for it, even though...
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's great.
For breathing. You're not allowed to breathe. Oh my days, that's mad, but that's crazy. But how many so to lead up to a competition, you said you prep. I mean,
Yeah.
you prep from like the first day in the season. You said.
Yeah.
So what does that include? Like you plan your whole training regime for the whole of up to competition.
Yeah, again, it's just all down to my coach. You kind of just have to put your faith in your coach and trust him. So the training doesn't really change.
How many times do you train a week?
So weight training would be 5 days a week, and then cardio would be, it was about 5-6 days a week as well.
So you're doing double sessions.
Almost, yeah. I mean, I said the days were long, so I would get into work for about 6 o'clock, do my morning cardio, obviously like shower, start work, finish work, and then train straight after then. So yeah, there was like cardio was split into two. So I do my morning cardio, which would normally be 45 minutes. I think it was 45 minutes. That's just like.
What would you do, like running, bike,
No, it's like steady
stepper?
state. I'd either do on a bike or a treadmill and like a bit of incline. That was it really. It wasn't anything too intense. And then obviously after training, you have to do like a 20-minute, half an hour cardio, which would be again more or less the same, just on a treadmill.
Okay, so you said you prep your meals as well, and do you weigh your food? You said.
Yeah. So when you're not right now, I'm not kind of competing. I haven't got any shows plans. I kind of just know how much each food weighs, roughly. But yeah, if I'm prepping, everything gets weighed out.
So what would you normally eat if you're in competition? Like what kind of foods would you eat leading up to that competition?
So it'd be like high proteins. You'd have like your fats in there as well. Obviously like vegetables, carbs. So our morning routine, I'd say our first meal would be salmon with eggs, vegetables. Then I'd have.
I love salmon.
Yeah.
Nice.
But then it's one of those ones where when you're having it every single day, it's a lot. And at like 7 o'clock in the morning, I was just like, oh, it's just.
I'll munch all this down ASAP.
That's it. So yeah, I'd have that, and then my second meal would then be chicken and vegetables.
Is that at lunchtime or was that before, like a snack thing before lunch?
No, kind of about lunchtime, to be fair. Yeah, so I say lunch. I was eating obviously at an earlier start, so it normally be around maybe 11 o'clock,
Okay.
10, 11 o'clock. Then from there, I'd have my pre-workout meal, which would just be, say, oats and jam, and then I'd literally mix it like hot water, mix it together. Then my post-workout meal would be, my post-workout meal would be like it's like cereal, squares bars. So again, I was always looking forward to that.
That was literally the next question I was going to ask you. After a competition, what is the first thing you after your last competition? What was the first thing you ate after that?
It's always a pizza. I get a weird craving for pizza every time. Yeah, after every show, I think I've always had a pizza. Actually, no, my last show I'd done, we stayed in Birmingham. We stayed to eat out in Birmingham. I think I had like a burger. But normally, on my other two shows I've done, it's always pizza. I always get
so make sure it's your competition just before your mum's birthday, then you can go to Pizza Express.
Exactly, yeah.
So, regarding your next competition, you said you want to compete next year. What things are you looking to improve? Like your arms, for example. I don't know, but like, are you looking to improve your arms, your legs, your abs?
It's gonna sound like cliche, but it's like everything.
Okay.
Like I can never say I want to improve that. Like everything just has to but grow. So I can say I just need to grow. So again, arms, back, chest, legs, everything.
So just keep training.
That's it,
keep
yeah.
training.
But yeah, so I can't, because if not, you can have that like disproportionate body parts. If I'm focusing more on, if it's different, I think if you've clearly got one body part that is a lot smaller than another body part, then you might think to work on that. But either way, I wouldn't prioritize one thing over the other. I would train legs just as hard as I train back, just as hard as I train shoulders, chest, so on.
So you said you have to go to the gym for all that kind of stuff. Do you enjoy working out and the feeling after, or do you think, I have to do this today for my competition? So do you enjoy it or
during prep or like off season?
So during prep, we'll go during prep first. Do you enjoy that?
During prep, you do enjoy it 100%, but it's hard sessions. You're on low calories, and obviously you're still lifting weight that it's not like to say you dropped your calories so you can drop the weight. Every session I'm still trying to push the weight up, still trying to get more reps in. So the intensity in that sense is hard. And there's certain days where I'm thinking, I don't want to train today. Like it's just going to be tough. But then once you get through it, you feel so much better for it. And again, it's just like another milestone. I said, prep for a show is one of the hardest things I've ever done, from day one up until the last day. And again, it's not going to be easy, because if it was, then everyone would be doing it. Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, there are days where I'm walking to the gym thinking, I don't want to be here. But again, there's other days where I'm thinking, you see like show day coming up and you kind of motivate yourself thinking, I need to train because I need to be better than everyone else that's going to be competing. So it's like little like mental battles that I have with myself.
So if for a competition, for example, next year, when's your competition next year you're looking to compete in?
Well,
Like,
no,
you don't know yet.
no date yet.
So if it was, for example, in May, when would you start your prep?
So normally like a 12-week prep.
Okay.
Depends on where you're at. So my first competition I've done, I think my prep was 18 weeks. I think it was 17, 18 weeks. But that was because I needed to kind of drop body fat, then push the calories up, and then bring them back down again. So I can't just go from where I was to drop calories straight away. So yeah, there's a whole process to it. But normally there'd be about 12 weeks.
So with now you're in off season, without any competitions, are you still like doing the morning cardio and going to the gym regularly, you're just maintaining your physique?
Just going to the gym, yeah. I mean, you have to maintain your physique. Again, if you've got aspirations to compete, it's not like going to be like, oh, I'm done with the gym now, and then starting back on the gym when a competition's coming up. But it's not as intense, obviously. Cardio, I'm not doing as much as I was doing. I'm still doing cardio just to kind of keep body fat a little bit lower, but it might be 20 minutes a day, 4 days a week. Training, still the same. Again, aiming 5 days a week. So yeah, again, you have to kind of keep that mindset going regardless whether you're looking to compete next year or not at all. So yeah.
So you said you're a PE teacher in a school. So what kind of sports do you coach, and what age group do you coach?
So age group is 7 to 11-year-olds, and the sports is just kind of like a whole variety. So football, tennis, basketball, cricket, kind of like just your normal sports that you learn in school.
So do you have any sports coaching qualifications, and if so, what coaching qualifications do you have?
So yeah, I got level 1 in football coaching through the FA. I got that how long was that now? About 6 years ago, to be fair. And I think that was kind of like, well, if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't be where I am right now. So that kind of was the next step in my career that's kind of taken me to where I am now.
Do you want to push that further to do like a level 2 maybe?
Yeah, do you know what? I'm always looking to improve, and it's one of those ones where I keep thinking like, how can I improve? And I do. Again, it's just obviously price, and obviously the courses come up. I mean,
yeah, they're so rare. I looked as well, and like there was none because of like COVID and that.
Yeah. I mean, even before when I was looking, you might have had one up in Manchester, but then the ones like more local, they're very rare to come by, and then when they do, you've got to be so quick to get on them.
Apart from football level 1, have you got any other coaching qualifications?
So obviously in the gym, I've got my level 2 in fitness instructing and my level 3 in personal training.
So with your level 2 fitness instructing, was there no level 1 for that, or?
So level 1, I think I already had qualification, I think, through college. I think I obtained it through doing a sports course there. So I think I've already obtained my level 1. So it kind of just meant I could go straight onto the level 2.
So the level 2, talk me through the process of that. How long was it? What did you have to do?
So it was over, it was a 2-week course. I'll say 2 weeks. It was probably about maybe 7 days in total, so Monday through to Friday, and then there was like a couple of days the week after that for like assessments. And yeah, you kind of it's just talking about, obviously, again, I'll say it's more basic. It's just kind of like introducing you to the gym, almost how to use equipment, how to use it safely, how to set up people on it, and kind of guide them on what might be good exercises. So yeah, it's quite basic in that sense. But yeah, it was over like 2 weeks. It was intense still, because obviously you're sitting there and almost being taught out. You've got to write down your whole notes and all that, and obviously you've got a written test at the end of it and a practical test as well.
So you have level 3 personal training as well. So is there a level 1 and level 2 for that as well, or did you just move on?
So you can, depends where you do it. You can either do level 2 and 3 in one. So you do your level 2, complete that, and then jump straight onto your level 3. But mine, I done it all separately. So I paid for my level 2, done that separately, and then my level 3. I didn't actually pay for that. That was all through the company I used to work for. It's actually quite good. So I was actually gonna, again, my whole story could have been completely different. I was actually going to lead. So there was a takeover with our companies at Leisure Centre, and they basically came in and was asking us all like, what your plans, where you going. And I'd been pushing for like level to either get a job in a gym or a gym within a company, or to get my level 3. And they were just like, we're not able to, there's no vacancies, we can't kind of fund it. And then I think it was like the regional manager, or like one of like the senior managers, he just said to me, he's like, what's your plans? And I was basically going to go back to my old workplace as a lifeguard. And then he was like, okay, we'll see what we can do in terms of getting you either job in the gym or my level 3 qualification. So then, I think it was like a week later, I had a phone call to basically say I had an interview plan in the gym. And I was like, okay, cool. So I went to that, obviously everything went well, got the job. And then through there, then they started pushing me for not pushing me again, I'd asked them, I said, obviously, I want to get into personal training. And they kind of helped me. So yeah, they paid for my course. So these courses can cost thousands of times, so I got it for free. So yeah, quite lucky. Yeah, 100%.
So is fitness instruction and personal training course similar? Quite similar in any way?
Yeah, of course. I mean, obviously, you're talking about kind of like how the body works, setting up training plans, but obviously, your personal training ones will be your personal training qualifications a lot more intense in terms of you're kind of giving more nutritional advice. You're kind of tailoring. Specific, or you're setting up training plans, whereas when you're a fit instructor, it's kind of a case they tell you, okay, just set them up on one exercise for push, one for pull, one for, well, a couple for legs, might be leg press, leg curl, leg extension, and then show them a bit of cardio. And that was kind of it. That was like a generic sort of plan you'd give someone. And obviously personal training is a lot more detail to it in terms of you're offering your services, you kind of have like then tailor plans specifically to them and to their needs. So they're similar, but at the same time, personal training is a lot more in depth.
Okay, so we're nearly at the end of the podcast. Got a couple more questions, but where do you see yourself in 5 years' time regarding your PE teacher career and being an amateur bodybuilder?
So in terms of my career, so again, want to be teaching in a school, whether that's as a class teacher, whether that's as a PE teacher. Again, that's the aim for me now. And then, yeah, in terms of bodybuilding, just kind of enjoying the process, seeing where I can go. I think that's the one for me, is that I'm not aiming to be competing at Miss Olympia. Obviously, it'd be nice, but I just enjoy the process. And again,
all about progression.
Exactly, yeah, taking like small steps to get to kind of like where it is that I need to be. But yeah, I said, comparing myself from when I first started to now, again, I've come a long way, understand it a lot more now. So yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, a couple more medals.
Wish you good luck on that journey.
Appreciate
Before we finish the podcast, is there anything you'd like to plug?
Yeah, obviously my Insta. So
What's your Instagram?
Kane Francis 6. So you can add that up. Yeah, follow me on there.
Yeah, thank you for Kane for joining me on the Chinwag podcast. If you enjoyed that podcast, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you later for more.